Okay, this is a quick tutorial showing you how to make more realistic depth of field in Photoshop. I usually use the lens blur filter instead of using the Gaussian blur filter because, in my opinion, the Gaussian blur is quite fake. So if you have a simple image like this one, and for example, let's say I want to have this background gradually out of focus, you can use the quick mask mode and the gradient tool, and I'll show you how to do that. The first thing I'll do is duplicate the background, and in a second I'll also show you why you should use the lens blur filter, because you can create some more advanced stuff with that, a more complex depth of field. But for a simple image like this one, you'll first activate the quick mask mode, get the gradient tool, then I usually use the linear gradient, but if you want to have this thing in focus, for example, you should have, if you want to keep this part here in focus, then you will have to have this part out of focus and also this one out of focus, and then you should use the reflected gradient, and you will create a gradient like that, and that way everything that's red here will be in focus, and all of the other and the rest of the image will be out of focus. But let's keep it simple and use the linear one, because I want to keep this this part here in focus, and I want to gradually get out of focus. So I'll click here and drag like that, so all this part will be in focus, and from here we'll start to fade and get out of focus. And once you have the selection like that, click the quick mask mode icon again, and now this part is selected. And even if you don't see it, this is a gradual selection, and you'll see that in a second. So go to filter, blur, lens blur, and from here you can choose any of the settings that you want. I usually choose more accurate, but it takes a bit more time to apply it. And of course, if you have the selection inverted, you can choose this option, invert, and that way you have just the opposite. You have this out of focus and the background is in focus. But let's use the original idea. And of course, you can increase the radius and add as much effect as you want. Of course, too much effect is not realistic, as you can see right now. So I'll decrease it to about 17 pixels. And I'll click OK so that you can see the result. So you can see that I should have made the selection a bit, the gradient a bit smoother, so I'll do it again. So I'll drag that gradient again like that, exit the quick mask mode, and apply the filter again. So now it looks a bit better. So that's your depth of field effect. As I said, with this filter you can create more advanced depth of field effects using channels. So you can create a new alpha channel, and you can paint with white. Let me switch colors. This is just to give you an idea of what you can do with this. I'm not going to go into too many details. And go back to layers and get rid of this layer, duplicate again. Now I have this alpha channel here. I can go back to filter, blur, lens blur, and you have this option here that says depth map. If you click on this drop down menu, you will find your alpha channel, and if you click OK, watch what happens. Everything that I painted with white is out of focus, and everything that is black is in focus. So I hope that gives you an idea of how you can use this filter. You can change the focal distance, you can invert that, so you have more control. Using depth maps, you have more control over the effect. I actually have a tutorial, a more detailed tutorial of how to use depth maps to simulate the distance. So for example, if you have a person here, and you can simulate and create a more precise depth of field. So that's the controls that you have here. If you want to know more about that, just try for yourself and especially if you're a photographer, maybe you'll understand more about that. So I hope you liked this tutorial, and that's all for today. See you next time.